Hey everyone, it's Karen from Dark Moon Emporium here, and in this video I'm going to show you how I made a customized wooden ornament using XTool Creative Space and my F1 laser. I'm in XTool Creative Space, otherwise known as XCS, and I'm going to begin by inserting a circle. And it should really be called ellipse because you'll only get a circle if you hold down the Shift key, as I am doing, and I'm going to center that on my page. Okay, so let's make this 90 millimeters in diameter, and let's add an internal circle, and I'm going to use the outline tool here, the outline menu, and I'm going to make that, let me see, -5 millimeters. Oh, that looks pretty good, quite happy with that. So I'm going to OK that. I'm going to move that onto a different layer just so that I can show you something in a moment, and I'm going to set that to engrave. I'm going to Control All, and I'm going to subtract. I want to add a loop for my my ornament next, so I'm going to do the same thing. Make a circle, and I'm going to make this one, oh, how big should I make this? About, let's go with 12 millimeters, and I'm going to set an offset distance of, let's see what -5 does for us. No, that's too much. -3. That looks about right. Okay. And I'm going to do it again because I clicked away from it without hitting OK. And I do that all the time. You'd think I'd know by now, don't you? OK. Okay, so I'm going to put those two onto a different layer. And I'm going to turn off layer 1. Hide it, there you go. And same thing again, they're both selected, so combine, subtract. I'm going to bring layer 1 back into visibility, and I'm just going to shift that up with the keys on my keyboard, my arrow keys. Select everything, combine, and unite. And that's the outline of my ornament. Next I'm going to do the star that goes in the middle. So select that from my basic shapes menu, and I'm going to move that to a different layer, and again I'm going to drag to resize it. Now in this particular case the aspect ratio is locked, so I don't have to hold down the Shift key, and I can use any of the handles around the edge to make my star. Okay, so I'm kind of happy with the placement of that. I'm going to use the outline tool again, and I'm going to make an offset of 2 millimeters, just checking that it overlaps my circle underneath at all points. And I am going to move this one to, I'm going to go to a fetching purple layer this time, and then I'm going to go back to my original star outline, and this time I'm going to go -3. I'm going to hide layer 2 just for now. And I'm also going to hide layer 1. I'm going to select those two and I'm going to go combine, subtract. Turn my layer 1 back on, select everything, combine, unite. And there's my star shape. Now I'm going to add my granddaughter's name across the middle of my ornament. So I'm going to hit my text tool, I'm going to move that to its own layer, and I'm going to change the text to Cordelia, which is my baby granddaughter's name. I'm going to change the typeface to, I think, Dancing Script is a nice one. And I'm going to weld all of those letters so that it becomes pretty much one shape. Engrave so I can see what I'm doing properly, and I'm going to resize this so that it just fits inside the ornament layer, and I'm going to rename this text. Okay, so if I cut this as it is, my letters will kind of all fall out of the middle because they will be basically being engraved on nothing. So to do that, I need to make a backer for them. And once again, I'm going to use my trusty outline tool, and 2mm offset looks pretty good. So I'm going to OK that. And I'm going to select just the offset, and I'm going to move that to the same layer as the ornament, hide the text, select everything and unite. And now if I bring the text layer back on, there is my granddaughter's name, all held on one backer piece. So it's not going to fall out basically. So I'm going to cut my ornament out of this little plywood coaster. Before I do that though, I'm going to give it a couple of coats of my light teak wood stain. This now has had its 2 coats of light teak stain, and it's also had a few coats of gloss sealer, and it's been lightly sanded down, so it's got a lovely smooth surface. And before I put it into the laser to cut it, I'm going to give it a coat of this. Well, I'm going to stick it to this actually. This is paper transfer tape, which I have a massive roll of for use with my vinyl project. And just make sure that I'm covering the right side. And this has somewhat magical properties actually, because when in the past I've engraved through it, it hasn't cut the tape at all, but the engraving has happened, which seems very strange. Okay, so I'm going to stick that down quite well. The reason why I'm applying the tape is to help protect the surface when I burn it. The F1 has a fan, but it doesn't come with air assist, and it's not really a cutter. I mean, it will cut, but that's not what it's best at. It's best at engraving. So when I use it to cut, there's a bigger risk of my work charring, and I don't want that to happen in this particular case, so I'm going to protect the surface with a layer of the masking tape. And now I am ready to send this to the F1. So I'm using blue light laser. My power is at 90%. My speed is 3, which is pretty slow for the cut, and the number of passes is 2. And for the engraving, I'm going at 100%, 300 millimeters per second, and I'm going to change that to 2 passes as well, because I'm using the contact paper. And I've done my framing, and I'm ready to process. And here it is after it's been cut out, and it's given me a nice deep engrave. It's gone through the masking paper, so I can enhance it a bit with some black paint before I remove the mask. And here's the finished item after I've given it another coat of spray sealer. And I very much enjoyed making this video, and I hope you've enjoyed watching it. So thank you very much for staying with me, and please do come back and see me again sometime. But for now though, do have a blessed day. Bye bye.